It's the Arbitrage.Run show. Bad news, guys and gals. We've got no Kevin this week on this special Lucky Maiden ZED Bot Gate episode. Yeah, Kevin he's MIA. He's enjoying himself. So you got me, Donkey Teeth, and this is my second solo show. So we'll see how it goes. It's always interesting getting on here with nobody to bail me out when I start saying stupid things. Fortunately, I can go back and edit them out. But yeah, I wanted to jump on because we've got a curveball that was thrown at us with the um, new concurrent tournaments coming. There's going to be no tournament on Tuesday as they do whatever maintenance is required. And because there's no tournament Tuesday, that prize pool is being rolled back into Monday's Maiden. So this is the Maiden that's upcoming in 2 days. I'm recording this in the U.S. on October 29th. That Maiden is going to start, well, about 24 hours from when I'm recording this on October 30th, Sunday evening in the U.S., Monday over there in Australia. And that will end on Monday on Halloween on the 31st. So because that pot has been juiced and it's going to be $23,000 in that prize pool, Lucky Jack has decided to move up his Lucky Maiden number 8, and that's going to coincide with that. So I wanted to jump on and do a quick preview of the Lucky Maiden and announce the arbitrage promotion that we're going to be doing for Lucky Maiden number 8. And we're going to tweak it a little bit from what we did last time for Lucky Maiden 7. We're going to do 10% of Arbitrage's profit to one raffle winner from somebody that buys a horse from our UUU sales stable over on Haku. You can find it, and I will show that a little bit later here in this recording. So if you buy one between now and the start of the Maiden, which is only 24 hours, so there might not be that many participants in the raffle this go around. I think we had like 3 days between when we announced it and when we closed it last time, and there was 19 entrants. So that's going to be part one. And then we're also going to give 10% of our winnings, since there's no buy-in for the ZED Maiden. It's going to be all profit. So whatever we win from our maiden horses that we run in the ZED Maiden, 10% of that will go to another raffle winner. So there's going to be 2 raffle winners, one for 10% of our profit in the Lucky Maiden 8, which is a function of our entry fees, which are typically pretty high, and our winnings. So our winnings minus the entry fees. It ended up being a half an Ethereum in Lucky Maiden 7 a couple weeks ago. So you got a kind of ballpark reference there. And congrats to GMZ Stables, who won that last Lucky Maiden. No clue what our winnings will look like in the ZED Maiden. We'll see if our horses are any good, but we can't finish negative there unless we're counting our breeding fees, which I guess that's possible that we're negative. But we're not going to ding. We're not going to ding you for that. That it's just going to be straight 10% of our winnings there. So that's the first matter. And then, because I'm recording this by myself, I wanted to jump on and do kind of a stream of consciousness tangent here about ZED Bot Gate, since it's in the news this week. A lot of people talking about it out on Twitter the past couple of days. So I wanted to just spew some of my thoughts on that here on the recording. If you're not interested in what I think and you want to hear a little bit more about the Lucky Maiden, that's what you came for, totally fine. You can fast forward. I don't know. I'll probably talk about this for about 5 minutes or something like that. So feel free to fast forward. I will walk you through the preview to the Lucky Maiden and some of the horses that Arbitrage is going to be entering in the Lucky Maiden and why. So again, this is going to be a relatively short show since I'm just sitting here talking to myself and you guys. But yeah, the ZED Bot Gate, it's interesting. It's these things have come up from time to time in ZED's short history, and I understand the angst, the outrage. That some people are upset with how ZED has handled this botting ring that has infiltrated ZED and is stealing our prize pools, for lack of a better word. and I get it. It's clear that this is not in the spirit of the game. It's not what any of us want happening, but it is a very difficult situation to address for several reasons. And I guess to me, I appreciate uh, the ways that is addressed it. Maybe not exactly how it's been communicated. It probably could have been communicated better. But if you think about Zed, just if they come out and just say, zero tolerance, we're locking all of these horses because they're botting and it was against the terms and conditions, it does kind of open up a can of worms where there's been no formal warning issued to that specific party. um, so I guess I'm a fan of due process. Let them know that they've offended, and if they don't, right that wrong, then look at taking action. But even then, when we start talking about locking up horses, I think that that's a dangerous area to go down. If you think about Zed coming out and just saying, "No, these people are botting. We're going to lock their horses." What if that happens to you in a month, and they think you're botting, and they've got some sort of circumstantial evidence, maybe, and they just go ahead and lock your horses, and then you're out of luck, and who knows what your course of action would be in something like that. So I guess that's number one. I'd prefer a system where people are notified if they've broken the rules, and they have a chance to either explain themselves or right the wrong or whatever it is, versus just locking from the start. And I get that there has been announcements before and it was in the rules, but this is kind of the first time that it's really been come to the forefront where it needed to be addressed. Now there has been uh, some issues in the past. I was one to complain about people botting breeds for a long time. We had so many breeds sniped by the same people, and we alerted Zed. I know there was a bunch of us in the community that were frustrated by this, and no action was ever taken on that. And I think that this is another gray area that comes with botting and bots in general, is what these people were doing, as far as we know, and according to well, people that know more than me. I guess BG would be one of them. These people were using an alert system, and they had horses input into the alert system that would set off an alarm when, say, back in breeding 1.0, I had some of the best studs in the game. They had them flagged, and I'd put them in at whatever price, and suddenly the same people were in there sniping these breeds every time something was going on. Essentially, they were using their own stud master. So it was an alert bot. So they weren't actually, having a bot do the breeds for them, supposedly. So is that allowed or is that not allowed? Kind of a gray area there. And if it's not allowed, how do you prevent something like that? How do you even prove that it's being done, right? I think that's tough. And if it is not allowed, we're all guilty of it now because of using the Studmaster Twitter account, right? Anybody that's using that is using a bot. So I know it's not at all apples to apples with what's going on with the race botting and stuff like that right now, but it's all how these types of things are handled is important. So, I think that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thought is, what if down the road, I mean, I think we all can imagine a future down the road where we want bots to automate the process of entering races. It can be tedious, not to game the system and cheat and stack races so that you win, but just so, like, say I've got ready, set, boom, and I want to enter any race above $5 at 2,600 meters when it pops up, and not have to be there like actually clicking. Should that be allowed or not? I don't know. I guess anybody can have their own opinions on that, but these are the types of things. If you set a precedent that absolutely no botting at all, this is kind of falling into a gray area. And I don't think what's going on now is a gray area. It's pretty clear cut, but I still think that there should be procedures in place, and they're still being kind of refined by Zed. This is all kind of a new world to all of us. So I do appreciate the way they've handled it. Another thing that came to my mind with this was when I don't know if a lot of the people listening have been in Zed long enough to remember the whole Jeeves Gate. There was a hack that happened. This must have been back in, I don't know, May, June of 2021, where a community member clicked a link and had their entire stable essentially stolen. And it was a large stable, and I don't know, they had it valued at like $300,000 at the time or something like that, that was hacked and stolen. And so there was a lot of back and forth about whether Zed should take some sort of action to get these horses returned, or lock the ones that were stolen and then remint this person horses, or compensate them, or, there was a lot of things being thrown around. And I think an issue with that at the time, to me, was how do you prove that this was actually a hack that happened and it wasn't just, you know, one of him sending horses to one of his friends or something like that? How do you know it was a hacker that went in and did it? How do you prove in the crypto world that you didn't want those horses to be sent out, or they weren't sold? Like, how do we know that there wasn't money sent to a different wallet or something like that? Of course, I don't know, maybe there's ways to prove all of that are beyond me, but I think that's another slippery slope with Zed taking these types of actions to lock horses. um, it's a weird world that we're dealing with. And I think Zed, their whole vision from the start, as far as I've heard it articulated from the founders, is that they want a community governed platform here. I don't know if that's still in the cards with them having taken funding from venture capitalists. If they're going to allow the community ultimately to make decisions on stuff like this and vote with the Zed token or not. But I think that is kind of a something that kind of lingers there, that they don't want to be the authority and govern and micromanage our ecosystem. um, and where is their role in that? And how much centralization do we want? Because there's good and bad that that comes with it, and it's kind of a give and take. So anyway, that was my tangent, stream of consciousness. I don't know if any of that made sense, but I do appreciate that Zed is taking some sort of action and communicating, and hopefully that this nonsense with all the stacking of races with horses to guarantee profits is ended. So anyway, that's that. Let's move on. Lucky Maiden 8. So as I showed last time on Lucky Maiden 7 preview, I'm going to share the Lucky Maiden Google Doc, which you can find by going to Lucky Jack's Twitter here, at Lucky Jackamoto. And then he's got it, let's see, right here, Lucky Maiden 8 doc and tokens. So you got the token link right here if you want to click on that and pop over. Make sure you get the right collection. Again, the link is going to be in that Lucky Maiden Google document as well here. Where's that OpenSea link? Up at the top here, tokens. All right, so make sure you follow that link when you're buying your tokens so you don't come upon a fraudulent collection and buy fake Lucky Maiden tokens. That would be unfortunate. So most of the categories here for Lucky Maiden 8 are the same as Lucky Maiden 7. You've got your overall grand final, which is again taking 35% of the prize pool from token sales. You've got Best Nakamoto, Best Sabo, Best Finney, Best Buterin, Best Genesis. Those Genesis tokens do cost more. You've got your Best C10 Plus again, Best C20 Plus, Best Cross and Pacer Grand Final. You've got your Best Elite and Exclusive Grand Final. Those are lumped together. The coat color for this one is going to be Neptune. Those are the blues. Some of the blue greens are in there. Lucky Jack has got a link here to the coat color chart, which some of you may have never seen, but you can kind of see the coat rarities and stuff on here and zoom in. But it's these Neptune ones over here. All right. And then there is best super rare coat, best super coat, and then we got a new category, best 200, best Z200 plus, which, I'm just reading this with you all. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it says custom pot, 50% of token revenue, and 50% of that goes to special categories. This is a $20 token. So yeah, I guess $20 if you want to enter a Z200 plus. Half of that entry fee is going to go towards this prize pool, and half of it's going to special categories, which I'm not sure exactly what special categories means, to be honest. All right, and then you've also got your bonus categories here, the lucky draws. So Lucky Jack does a draw, or he has Zombie do the draw to see who gets into these categories. All right, so there's your Lucky Maiden 8 quick recap of the rules. And then we'll go over to Haku and check out some of the horses we're going to be entering. I'm not going to go through all of these. We haven't even decided exactly which ones we're going to be entering yet either. I think we got 30-ish horses in this stable, and we're going to be breeding a few more too. And actually, let me show you where you can find our sales stable for that promo. I just created a Haku URL for the sales stable. So I think it's you. It's haku.com /u/arbitrage. It should take us to that sales stable. So yeah, we got 21 horses in there right now. I'm going to be doing some more breeding tonight and put some more fun horses in here and price them all out. But right now there's 21 in there. Again, you buy one of these, you're going to get an entry into our raffle. There's going to be 2 raffle winners, and one of those winners is going to get 10% of our profit from the Lucky Maiden 8, and the other one is going to get 10% of our winnings from the ZED prize pools in this Juice Maiden. All right, so let me go back to the ones that some of the ones we're running. Some of these will probably end up over in that sales stable after we do sift through them closer. I think the one that we got to be most excited about, this Ready Set Boom kit that we were saving. We thought we were going to save it for 2 more weeks. It's Ready Set Boom and Double Take. Double Take actually is a co-winner of Lucky Maiden. I don't know, maybe Lucky Maiden 5 or 6. Lucky Maiden 5, I think it was. So this horse, we saved this one and not the Supreme Polarity Ready Set Boom offspring from this cycle. And here's kind of a pro tip here. We're thinking that this one is better for a format like the Lucky Maiden, the tournament format, where it rewards consistency. It rewards those consistent tournament runners that finish in the top half on the podium a lot. It doesn't always reward monster horses that have a lot of variance that might do well in, class 1 paid racing. They might actually struggle in the Lucky Maiden because you got to run those 20 races. And, I think we had 400 horses enter the Lucky Maiden last time. So you're going up against a lot of horses. You really need that consistency to make the overall grand final. So we figured the Ready Set Boom Supreme Polarity offspring, even if it was really good, and it is pretty good, Polar Boom is the name, it might have a little bit too much back end to sneak into that overall grand final. So we held this one back thinking there's a little bit more consistency with a Double Take, and that should yield less of a paid racer, more of a tournament racer. We'll see if we're right on here or not. So that's pretty exciting. This is the first time we've done this pairing too, and we got another filly. RSB just keeps kicking out fillies. Let's see. Here's another one I'm excited for. And I realized when I recorded that last Lucky Maiden preview, I pretty much said the same thing for everyone. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for this one. Nice parent here, nice parent there, this is how I feel when I'm breeding. But this is Triumph for Terms, one of the best elite marathoners in the game, if not the best. It's probably the most consistent. I haven't seen recent breeds. Maybe something has come up since, There are some really good ones with variants, but we've talked about this horse on the show before, and it bred Triumph for Saber a couple lucky maidens ago, which made the overall grand final and kind of got stomped because it just didn't have enough base ability to compete with the other monster horses that made the grand final. But just for a cross to get in there is impressive. And then Supreme POP is Supreme Boom was the father of this one, and then Princess of Power on the mother's side. And this horse was really nice. Really, this one can compete in Class 1 paid racing. So we're excited about that pairing. And we bred another one from Triumph for Terms from Delicious Boom, which is a Z2 from Delicious Irony and Ready Set Boom. So that one is in here somewhere. Yeah, we got a lot of Buterins in here. I guess I'll share some of my thoughts on just total speculation of where I think valuations might be headed with the new class update and progression that's coming. I talked about this briefly on a show, one of our regular shows with Kevin. I think a big part of the game is going to be the exclusive to elite drop off. Back when I got into Zed year and a half, almost 2 years ago, year and a half ago, it's been about a year and a half. There was a lot of discussion about holding the exclusive level. If you look at how breeding works, when you breed a female exclusive into a Genesis, it holds that level. If you breed a male exclusive with a Genesis, you lose that level. It's an interesting wrinkle in the game, which hasn't played a huge part because um, you don't necessarily see a huge change in value from exclusive to elite. There's maybe a little bit of degradation, but it doesn't seem to be based on that breed type, the legendary, the exclusive. It's just that there's degradation in any breed, and you're losing base ability, it seems. So I think that they're gonna bring that wrinkle back in. I think that there's gonna be Genesis are going to be the most valuable. There's going to be parts to the progression system that make Genesis more valuable than anything else, and there's going to be parts that make Legendary more valuable than exclusive, and I think there's going to be parts that make exclusive more valuable than elite, all the way down. And I think that the exclusive to elite drop, because of the way things are structured, is going to play a key in whatever the class system and progression end up looking like. So I've been, and this is kind of a tug of war that Kevin and I have gone through over the past month, because it just makes a ton of sense to me. And he likes the idea of having the best of a certain type, the best elite, the best cross, the best pacer. He thinks there's a ton of value in that, which totally could be. And, we focused on breeding that out as well, just to make sure that we're properly hedged. And we've got eggs in a bunch of different baskets. No matter what happens, we're protected. And, we've got a lot of Genesis and Legendary already. So we're not ignoring it by any means, but when I got a chance to to use a legendary female to create an exclusive or create an elite, I've typically been choosing the exclusive. So there's a lot of exclusives, not a ton of. We do have some crosses in here. I don't think there's any pacers that we're going to be running. There's a handful of elites, but I'm trying to focus more on the exclusive, creating more and more exclusives, because I think there's going to end up being a big drop off. Again, totally speculative, but we'll look back and see if I was right, that did end up being a key to the future system. So anyway, I don't know. We'll click on a few more of these horses and wrap it up here. I'm at 26 minutes, and I'm sure you guys are probably already tuned out. Let's take a look at some of the Buterins, though. We got a legendary. Loves of Fantasy has bred really well. File format's a nice marathoner. So this is a fun. I really like these legendary colts because they're so cheap to breed out, and I can create those exclusives now. And I think that it's gonna be awesome to be able to kick out some Buterin exclusives. And if we're seeing a horsepower number, as Facundo called it in one of his AMAs, that's visible, and we're no longer guessing how good a horse is, we've got some sort of guidepost. I think the value just naturally increases of some of these butyrans that you're just looking at the flames and they don't look that impressive. You don't really know what they are until you get a huge sample of races that we might otherwise have not raced. I think the value theoretically increases when you've got an exclusive that's showing a high horsepower butyran, and you're going to be able to go cross reference on a marketplace like, oh, here's the floor for a Z13 butyran colt that's at horsepower 60. Oh, this is a good price and it comes from good blood. Yeah, I'm going to buy it because, the market is valuing them here. And this one's right there at the floor and it's got really nice parents and you've got some really good ancestry outs and whatnot. So, again, total tangent here. Hopefully, some of this is making sense. This is usually where Kevin would keep me in check and say, "No, shut up. Let's move on." What do we got here? Z9 exclusive Finny. You can go through and check these out also. To get here, you can just search any arbitrage hands horse. I searched Evergreen Gates and then clicked on arbitrage hands. We haven't named this stable yet. Maybe I should do that. But then you can search based on number of races. So I just put in zero races for both the high and minimum maximum number, and then pulled up these. This one, we'll see if we run this one. I'm not sure. It may just make the normal ZED Maiden for us, but I did 2 breeds with Dahan after ZSim released his breed score, and Dahan ranked very high in ZSim's breed score, which whatever, take that for whatever it means, because I don't think ZSim or any of these data guys believe in breeding talent. I still do. I think that there's some sort of missing piece, but he's quantified whether they're good or bad breeders based on a breed score that he may or may not believe in. So I tested it out. I took a couple solid mares into Dahan when I saw him sitting in there around the minimum. So we got 2 of those in here. Let's see what this top one is. Exposed as. I did not name this horse, by the way. This is a solid snake offspring that I saw listed pretty cheap and just bought it for breeding purposes that we took into Dahan as well. And if you see anything in here that catches your eye, we're totally open to taking offers on these. You can throw a bid down on Haku or ping us with an offer. We're not necessarily looking to sell these ones that are in arbitrage hands, but yeah, if you make a strong offer, we'll certainly consider it at least. This is a fun one. Big Elias is one of Catch Me Riding Derby's nice new 2.0 horses. And then Word, we did almost a whole show on Word, another solid snake offspring that we purchased for a solid price tag. That's a fun one. That's a filly too. Let's take a look at one more. I think this is that Delicious Boom one. Yeah, there's the Delicious Boom Triumph for Terms. That'll be a fun cross. I'd be surprised if you don't see these 2 crosses from Triumph for Terms in that grand final. Let's see. Oh, this one's probably from Creation of Mortals. Yes. This one is fun. Just bred this like an hour ago. So Creation of Mortals, really great sprinter stud of ours. And then Butter My Biscuit is a One Morticia offspring with Newton, I believe. Yeah, Newton, One Morticia. Really nice horse, Butter My Biscuit. Also a great name. I can't remember if that was Kevin or I that came up with it, but yeah, I love it. Very nice horse here. So this is just a stacked bloodline, as you can see. One Morticia, Newton, and then Creation of Mortals. And then Newton, if you don't know, Newton's a 1.0 horse, but has Berserk in this bloodline as well, and it's a sprinter, so just coincidentally lined up. All right, I think we can go ahead and wrap it up here. If anybody has any questions or wants any guidance on entering the Lucky Maiden, feel free to reach out. Also, if you do decide to do like a last minute build a breed with us, we will enter you into our raffle as well. And again, if you spend I think 0.5 Ethereum, which right now Ethereum has been having a good run. I think it's up over 1,600 right now. Just if you're watching this in the future and wondering what zero point 0.5 Ethereum meant at this time, that's where it was. If you spend that much with us and you get a dud of an offspring, we're going to give you a free horse, about 10 to 20% of the value of that 0.5. So probably do 20% of the value of what you paid. So you got that nice bonus there if you do buy something with us. All right. Well, best of luck out there in the Lucky Maiden, everybody. Please stop botting. Not cool. And we'll catch you on the next Arbitrage.Run show. Back with Kevin next week. I'll be live to you from Las Vegas. Looking forward to that. But hey, take it easy, everybody. Oh, follow me out on Twitter at ZED Diamond Hands. And if you could subscribe to the show and like it, that would be awesome. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.